Hello, thanks very much for joining us. So that breaking news we can bring you in the last few moments. India and the UK have signed a trade deal. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the deal on X, saying that he had spoken to Keir Starmer and that in a historic milestone, India and the UK have successfully concluded an ambitious and mutually beneficial free trade agreement. He also goes on to say that he looks forward to welcoming Prime Minister Starmer to India soon. Well, our business and economics correspondent Gurpreet Narwan joins me now. Gurpreet, what does this mean for the UK? Yeah,
well, it's certainly the most ambitious deal that the UK has struck since leaving the European Union. It's been 3 years in the making, and there have been round-the-clock negotiations over the past couple of days between the Business Secretary and his Indian counterpart. And in that deal, Britain has secured a number of concessions from India, which, for some important context, it's worth pointing out, is a highly protectionist economy. Its average tariff floats at around 130%. And on some goods, like whisky, it's even higher at 150%. While the UK has secured a reduction in tariffs on 90% of tariff lines. Most of them will fall to zero within the coming decade. And on whisky, it secured a reduction in that tariff rate, which is something that India hasn't given to any other country in the past. By comparison, the UK's average tariff rate is about 5%. So we're comparatively a very open economy. And it's worth pointing that out just to kind of show how we're both starting from very different starting points, so to speak. Of course, the devil with all of this is in the detail. The UK has secured considerable concessions, and we know that the UK will be celebrating this deal. But what has the UK offered India in exchange? Well, the UK has offered considerable reductions in certain tariff lines, although it said it wouldn't do anything that goes against the national interest. For India's textile exporters, we know that the textile industry is a big employer in India, and apparel tariffs on that have fallen to zero. So that's good news for the Indians on their part. But we know that there were some sticking points in these negotiations. The Indians wanted exemptions from the UK's upcoming carbon tax for its high-emission industries. We understand that the UK is not budging on that. And then on visas as well, the Indians wanted greater movement for some Indians coming into the UK. The UK will not change its immigration policy to allow that, but it will facilitate some professionals coming into the UK, making it easier for some Indians to come into the UK. We understand for the UK's part, this will lead to lower prices for consumers. When tariffs come down, that leads to lower prices for consumers. And the UK, Britain, the government's own estimates suggest that this could add 4.8 billion to the UK economy in the long run.
The lower prices for consumers, what kind of products are you talking about here, Gurpreet?
Well, the ones I mentioned, so for example, apparel is a big one. We know that at the moment there's competition from India faces competition from neighbouring countries like Bangladesh, where a lot of our apparel, a lot of our textiles come from at the moment. While those tariffs would come down to zero, allowing greater market access for Indian textile exporters.
OK, Gurpreet, thanks very much for that. So, Gurpreet Narwan then bringing us the breaking news that a trade deal has been struck between India and the UK.